From KPRC Channel 2, this is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
Good morning and welcome to Houston Newsmakers. I'm delighted to welcome Congressman Bryan Babin, representing the 36th Congressional District, to the program for the first time. Good morning, Dr. Babin. It's good to see you.
Great to be with you.
What took you so long to get here?
You know, I'm not sure what happened here, but I'm here now.
We're here now. Hey, the 36th is a relatively new congressional district of 2012, I think it was formed. Right. And talk about your constituents. Who are the constituents of the 36th?
Well, I am without question, a Houston area congressman, but my district is relatively large compared to most of our East Texas districts. My district goes from southeast Harris County all the way to Louisiana line. We have 9 counties in there.
Wow.
We've got more petrochemical refining facilities than any other district in the country. We have 4 ports. But then all this manufacturing and all this industry and all these ports and infrastructure, transportation, we've got 7 timber-producing counties as well, and lots of rice agriculture.
What are they telling you is the most important thing to them these days? What are you hearing from them as things that are being most important?
Well, today I've been on the road and we've been over in Chambers County talking with our rice farmers. Because of the flooding issues, as a matter of fact, you know, with tropical storm Imelda, which dumped 43 inches of rain. And just popped out of the Gulf of Mexico quicker than anything I've ever seen or experienced in my life. As you can see on the background here, that's exactly what a lot of my district looked like. Unbelievable flooding.
So the challenges have been there. We've had some major flooding over the last few years. What kind of challenges do you face to make sure the money that is needed to help those folk out is there?
That's a great question, and you know, I was proud to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to try to get a storm relief package, and work with some of my colleagues over in Florida, because they were hit by a hurricane just after we were, after Harvey, and then also with my colleague from Puerto Rico as well. And we got a package of $141 billion. And Texas got the lion's share of that, and we're still trying to get back to normal from Hurricane Harvey, when all of a sudden here comes Tropical Storm Imelda, and I've got several thousands of homes that have been impacted. Many flooded for the second time.
Right, and so there's going to be money for them, you think, somewhere along the way?
Well, I think we will. Yes, sir.
So one of the things that's interesting about that is you talked about it's bipartisan and in this hyper-partisan environment. And in your district, for example, you haven't really had much of a competition in your races. You've won by 44% up to 77%. Seems to me that if you win your party's nomination, you're in, which is not a bad thing if you're in a position where you are. But does that make it easier or more difficult because you know that your district is really, really strongly Republican and it gives you a chance to do things that are going to be pro-Republican? You
know, I've had my career, Cambrell. I'm not looking for a second career in the U.S. Congress. I was a dentist for nearly 40 years. And so I'm here to do things for my country and for my district. That's why I'm here. And, you know, I'm not looking for that career. I'm looking to do things and to have things happen and bring stuff back to our district and give people relief, and try to put this country back on track where I think we should be proud of our nation. Certainly we've had problems in our country in our past history, but you know, the United States of America, you and I were just talking about your daddy and my dad being World War II vets.
Amen.
And you know, we got a great country, and we have to get back to making this country and being proud of our country again.
How difficult is it to come to compromise when you know that everybody's digging these silos of partisanship? I mean, one of those, it has to be a challenge because your party is expecting you to vote with them and their party is expecting them to vote with them. What's the challenge in trying to compromise and come to something that is really making progress on behalf of the country and not a party?
Absolutely, and you're right. We're seeing hyper-partisanship. But, you know, that doesn't trickle down to the people that are just right across the aisle from me. The rank and file, some of those Democrats have co-sponsored some of my bills. I have had very good luck, and this is something that I have a great bill called TAPS Act, H.R. 838, which is going to address some of these terrible, terrible shootings, mass murders, targeted violence, we call it.
Right.
And we've got 150 co-sponsors on this bill, 75 Republicans, 75 Democrats. And it's bogged down in the Judiciary Committee. And I have talked till I'm blue in the face to Chairman Jerry Nadler to say, hey, Chairman, we've got to get this bill out so we can start saving some lives. When we drop our kids off at school, we want to make sure we pick them up alive and well. Workplace violence, on and on. And this bill has been endorsed by 55 outside groups and associations. It's a great bipartisan bill, but the chairman all he wants to talk about is Trump, impeachment, Mueller report, etc. And I said, Chairman, we got some things to do in this country. We got to secure this border. We've got to pass infrastructure. We've got to pass USMCA. No Texas, no state more than Texas, no district more than Texas 36 will benefit more than that newly negotiated USMCA treaty. We've got to get that to the floor.
And by the way, we're going to have to talk about Trump, too, and impeachment. We'll get that in a little bit.
Sure.
But also NASA. NASA's a big part of what's going on, and you're on one of the subcommittees about that. The progress of that is important. You've let it be known that there are some issues within the process in terms of management of the systems to get things going the way they should. Talk about that for a minute.
No question about it. In fact, I'm the ranking member. I'm the most senior Republican on the subcommittee on space and aeronautics. And until we lost the House, I was the chairman of that committee for 4 years, that subcommittee. But we have absolutely a jewel right here in Harris County. I represent Johnson Space Center. That is the largest NASA facility that we have in this country, with a wonderful, wonderful history going back 50 years. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary in July of the moon landing, the first one, with Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And I was very upset. I really was, the way NASA awarded a lunar landing craft to the Marshall Space Flight Center rather than to Johnson Space Flight Center. And I'm taking nothing away from Marshall, believe me, over in Huntsville, Alabama. They have done a miraculous job with propulsion, with rockets. That huge Saturn V rocket that was developed in Marshall got us to the moon. But let me tell you who's got the expertise on lunar landers. Johnson Space Center. And so we're having some conversations and discussions with the administration there at NASA to make sure that they don't forget about Johnson Space Center. And so we've got a great center over there, and Senator Cruz and I are looking out for them.
Well, that's a good thing to hear, and I want to make sure that we keep an eye. And when your subsequent returns to Newsmakers, when you have your third and fourth visits, we'll talk more about that.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk more about the president made some decision this week that impacts what's going on in Syria. Kurdish fighters who've been good partners of ours now in harm's way, and also impeachment. We're going to talk about that as well. Some things you just can't get around. It's the elephant in the room for a lot of things that are going on in Washington, D.C. We'll talk more about that coming up right after this break.
An important message for moms. What doctors have now discovered about gestational diabetes after the baby is born. Plus 7 cleaning hacks for everything from stainless steel to water rings to ceiling fans. Monday morning on Channel 2 News Today.
It's not enough to treat over 200,000 hearts a year or to use minimally invasive surgical techniques if we don't recognize that for your heart, it's a first, and tailor rehabilitation to your needs. Because it's not enough to treat your heart like it's the only one that matters if we can't get you back to what matters most. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
The bombshell rocking City Hall. Investigations into Mayor Turner and the high-paying internship he created just for this man.
Specifically developing a position.
The whopping $95,000 a year.
Nearly 6 figures for a recent graduate in the middle of a hiring freeze. Photos, documents, and late-night texts reveal a personal relationship. Yet Turner lied repeatedly to cover it up.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Lies, corruption, a mayor compromised by scandal, a mayor we can't trust.
The 2019 Cadillacs are made to move and made to shine. Texas residents get this low-mileage lease on this 2019 Cadillac XT5 from around $349 per month. Visit your Houston area Cadillac dealer today.
KPRC2 loves the Astros. I mean, who else would try to pull off a stunt like this? We're ready to see them take it back. We're Astros fans, too, to see more behind the scenes.
Like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Houston Newsmakers. My special guest from the 36th Congressional District, Congressman Bryan Babin. Dr. Babin, last week there was bipartisan reaction to the president's decision to pull troops out of the area in the Syrian border area. Turkey now, not long after that, really started to be aggressive. What are your thoughts about that? Because it does put some of the Kurdish fighters and militia who fought side by side with some of our troops against ISIS. It puts them in harm's way. What is your concern about that, and what's your hope going forward?
Well, I'm concerned because, quite frankly, I do not trust President Erdogan from Turkey. I really don't. He has not proven to be a very good ally, even though Turkey is a member of NATO. You know, I've got my great concerns about President Erdogan. I do trust this president, however, our president. And I know that he's made a campaign promise to not have us, eternally, embroiled in foreign wars. We've been in Afghanistan, for example, 18 years. So I'm trusting the president on this. I do have a concern that there may be a humanitarian crisis, that our great allies, the Kurds, may be put in harm's way here, and that ISIS prisoners of war may be turned loose. And I don't know what the entanglement with Russia is in Turkey. I've got some concerns there, but I'm trusting the president. I know he's got good judgment, and he's got some folks around him that are telling him that. So we're going to see how that comes out.
Some folks think the president doesn't have good judgment, and Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, not long ago, talked about an inquiry that would be starting toward impeachment. Your thoughts on that process after the president? The reason that they've given is because of solicitation from a foreign power against a political adversary, a political opponent.
Right, and there's no question that when you talk about judgment, I really have my doubts as to the judgment and wisdom of calling a press conference and just making the announcement which the speaker did, that we were suddenly in an impeachment inquiry based upon a telephone call between the presidents of the Ukraine and the president of the United States that the whistleblower did not even have firsthand knowledge of, and that Mrs. Pelosi supposedly did not have firsthand knowledge of, and nor did we think that Chairman Adam Schiff had firsthand knowledge of. And then we find out later that he did have firsthand knowledge of this, and that there was some collusion, if you would, between the whistleblower and Schiff's staff. So
collusion's a pretty strong word for that. There's consultation, from what I understand, from both sides.
Consultation. All right, you can call it what you want, Amber. I understand, but when he said that he had no contact, but they would like to have contact, that tells me that they didn't have any contact.
Does that distract from the point of this whole process, which was this conversation where the President of the United States, according to the transcript that was provided by the White House, talks about, kind of alludes to, ask for help in getting information against the Bidens. Is that something that's okay? Has that changed the way that we do business now in terms of our politics, that we can get foreign help to do certain things? Do you believe that that actually took place? What do you think about that?
I don't think there was a quid pro quo. I read the transcript personally. I also read the... Okay, then you'll see that he did not bring up Mr. Biden. He did not bring that name up even. I'm talking about our president. It was brought up by President of the Ukraine. Right. And also, I think that you had a situation where when you look back on what President Trump's problem is, and I don't see anything wrong with making inquiries of a former vice president of the United States who is over there withholding $1 billion for 6 hours. And we've got Vice President Biden on tape. Everybody in this country has seen that happen. He said, you will fire this prosecutor or you're not getting the billion. And then he said, guess what? 6 hours later, the SOB was fired. And so, you know, I've got a real problem because it looks a little bit like hypocrisy, Cambrell, when we look and see what our president, our current president, is being accused of, right, when we saw what the vice president was being accused of. Because I can tell you, without a doubt, that the money was not being withheld. The funding was not being withheld by the Trump campaign, by the Trump administration from the Ukraine.
You know, one of the things I'm really glad about is that I am a hardcore independent, because I look at both sides and I see talking points on both sides of this thing. And man, you are doing this is the Republican talking point. This is what I hear, and I hear just the opposite on the other side. In the meantime, we have the poll from Nate Silver's 538 website shows the polling is that there are a lot more people now who are thinking that there should be an impeachment inquiry and/or an impeachment. The numbers are higher than they were before. Republicans 13.8%, almost 14%. Independents 82%. You'd expect Democrats to be that high. Right now, Politico
Democrats
says
82%.
Yeah. Democrats 82%.
Independents 43%.
Exactly.
Right.
And then Republicans are 13 point. So we can see that this is trending. It's trending, that people are thinking that this should happen, that an inquiry should happen. What do you think should happen as a result of the questions that are coming up by the way this president has these conversations, and then came out and said, China, would you help find some information as well? Some of your party said, well, he was just kidding. And others have said, well, maybe he wasn't kidding. Maybe it shouldn't have been done, but it's not worthy of impeachment.
Well, do you have any curiosity about what Mr. Biden and his son did in China or the Ukraine? I think that's a fair issue for the American people to wonder about, and I think people are wondering what went on. You know, why was Mr. Biden's son, who didn't have any expertise in anything, I think he was run out of the Navy, I do know that. You think more people are concerned and curious about that, or more concerned and curious about the way the president conducts business from the Oval Office and beyond? I think it's a hyped deal about the way the president is conducting his business. You know, I can tell you that the letter that was sent from Mr. Cipollone, the president's attorney, that was sent to the U.S. Congress, saying that they're not going to cooperate because they're not being given due process. They're not being allowed to have Republicans sit in on these committees to the numbers that they were specified, and not being able to come up with their own witnesses, and having this thing sitting in the Intel Committee rather than the Judiciary Committee, so that they can keep things secret, and then having Mr. Schiff make comments and statements that are hypothetical and absolutely not true. I got a big problem with that. So do you also think it's okay then the White House would say, subpoena or not, we're not going to comply? I do. I think until we see some cooperation and make this a bipartisan effort, the way an impeachment procedure should be. It should be bipartisan, just like it was when they were discussing it with President Nixon back during the Watergate. You know what this means?
this all means that you got to come back, because we got a lot more to talk about. We don't have enough time to finish it up right now.
Hey, I'm ready to come back.
Because I want to ask you about law and order and what this means going forward, and what we're all facing as a country because of what's happening right now.
We could talk about border security and law and order and this impeachment, because if we're not a country of law, a nation of laws, if we're a nation of men, we're in bad shape.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. I hope that the next break we get, we can make a point to try to get together sooner, because this is too long between a couple old military-focused guys.
That's exactly right.
Congressman,
yes,
good
sir.
to meet you, sir.
Mr. Kay, thank you.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you for this time this morning. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back here again real soon. Just ahead, the Association of Space Explorers 32nd Planetary Congress coming to Houston. Former astronaut Dr. Bonnie Dunbar here to talk about this big deal for Houston and what it means for space exploration. Next.
I would definitely describe myself as a Ford guy. To be built tough, there's so many things that you need to be prepared for. I really love the versatility of the F-150. It's this tough, rugged vehicle when you want it to be, and then it's also this comfortable vehicle that you can go on a road trip in. The F-150 is an iconic vehicle, and it is the best. Bottom line.
Now drive F-150 with this special offer. 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 cash.
Official vehicles of Justin Verlander.
If you're a business owner in Houston, you should be proudly flying the Texas and U.S. flag in front of your building. Kronberg's has your flags and flagpoles in stock and ready to fly with quick delivery and installation. We also print or sew custom flags and banners of your choice right here in our Houston factory. From toothpick to battleship-sized flags, Kronberg's is your headquarters for all your flag and flagpole needs.
Call or stop by Kronberg Flags and Flagpoles today, or visit us at kronbergflags.com.
When your psoriasis is bad, it can be hard to see what's possible. But the possibilities become clear with Taltz, the first and only treatment of its kind offering a chance at 100% clear skin. With Taltz, up to 90% of those with moderate to severe psoriasis saw a significant improvement of their psoriasis plaques. Some even saw 100% clear skin. Don't use if you're allergic to Taltz. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. Increased risk of infections and lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about infections, symptoms, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop, worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Serious allergic reactions can occur. See the possibilities. Ask your doctor about Taltz.
Wake up and win with KPRC 2 News Today. Watch for Circle K's secret word of the day. Then enter it on click2houston.com/Circle K for a chance at a $25 gift card. Every entry wins a free Polar Pop. We are Circle K.
There is nothing like it, they say. Astronauts who sit on top of rockets with millions of pounds of thrust beneath them when they rumble to life, and fire and smoke belches out along with deafening noise and sound waves for anyone within miles of liftoff. Then comes the incredible speed it gets to take into orbit, the weightlessness, the views, the enormity of it all. There is and always has been something amazing about spaceflight. Dr. Bonnie Dunbar knows all about that thrill of spaceflight. She retired as an astronaut in 2005 after 5 missions, more than 50 days in space. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We're here this morning to talk about a big event coming to Houston this week, showcases spaceflight and those who've been leading the way up to and now are looking ahead to the future. The Association of Space Explorers, the 32nd Planetary Congress. That's a mouthful. There's a lot going on. What is that all about, and what's the purpose of it?
Well, in 1985, a group of astronauts and cosmonauts, and not just the U.S. and Soviet Union, but a number of other countries, decided to form our only professional organization for spaceflight flyers, the qualification being 1 orbit around the Earth. But we also decided that we didn't just want to talk to ourselves, that we really had a mission as a planetary organization, and that was to communicate the inspiration and the reasons we explore in spaceflight. And spaceflight, of course, is one of the new frontiers, but also to inspire our youth. And we inspire them, we hope, in science, engineering, technology, history, all the things that we think our youth ought to have as they go forward. So every year we're invited to a different country, and this is the 32nd, only the 4th time we've been in the U.S.
What kinds of things will be going on next week?
Well, we're going to have an opening ceremony at Space Center Houston at 10 o'clock. It's open to the public. It'll be live streamed. We'll have our president, who happens to be from the U.S., and it rotates around other countries, open Mike Lopez Alegria. We'll have a letter read by Vice President Pence, a video from the International Space Station with 9 crew members on board.
Wow.
And one from our new administrator.
You have a community day, too, as well. And I know that sounds like it's going to be very impressive when you all get together and you go out in the community, because that's part of what you want to do, the community to see you, to be inspired.
So we have 126 astronauts coming from, I think, more than 17 of our 38 countries. And we always spend one day out in the community. Normally, it's an entire country, but since Texas is as big as most of the European countries, we can only do Texas in one day.
Yeah.
So we'll be in College Station at A&M. We'll be in Midland. We'll be down in the Rio Grande Valley. And we'll spend that day talking to schools and community groups and to some of our, our leaders in our communities as well.
You're celebrating Apollo and also looking ahead to the future. What do you want young kids to know and think about as they think about maybe possibly going into space?
Well, I'd like to have them think about the same things I thought about when I was 8 years old and looked up from a cattle ranch and saw Sputnik, and we hadn't even yet landed on the moon. And that is, we're part of making the future. And this is part of our spirit. It's part of our generic DNA to explore and to acquire knowledge, and that there are no boundaries.
We are going to continue our conversation on Newsmakers Extra because this is very important. Click to Houston.com. Go there and join us there. Our conversation will continue. In the meantime, Planetary Congress is set for all this next week in Houston, and people can find out information. We're going to put it on our website, and it's open to the public, correct?
Yes.
Good deal. We want everybody to go there. So go there, click to Houston.com. Dr. Dunbar, thank you for what you are doing and what you have done. We look forward to this Congress being a success next
Thank
week.
you very much.
All right, final thoughts. We'll look ahead to next week right after this.
Join KPRC2 for the Autism Speaks Walk Saturday, October 19th at the University of Houston main campus. You'll be supporting Autism Speaks' mission of promoting solutions for the needs of individuals with autism and their families. Log on to click2houston.com/community for details.
The 2019 RAV4.
Don't forget the carabiners.
Copy that. With loads of cargo space.
You find them?
Probably.
And the latest tech.
We still home for spelunking tomorrow?
Totally. I love that.
Bye.
It was made for a more adventurous you. Right now, get $1,500 customer cash, or qualified lessees can lease the adventurous new 2019 RAV4 LE for only $249 a month. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places.
As a woman, I know cancer has a cruel way of robbing us. As your doctor, I'm determined to change that. So we're fighting cervical cancer without compromising your future. Working with a team of specialists to remove the tumor and save the uterus. So you can still give birth. Because to me, stopping cancer means saving so much more.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Everybody's happy here at HEB. This favor is a part of the family, delivering everything that you need in your neighborhood. Something tells me y'all are in for something good. Getting wine and beer is easy as can be. We won't even charge you for delivery. You need the favor app on your phone, but that's understood.
Get anything from HEB's huge selection of beer and wine delivered for free in under an hour.
Something tells me y'all are in for something good.
HEB in Favor, a match made in Texas.
KPRC2 invites you to savor the flavor at the Easton Street Fest, Saturday, October 19th.
Join us for food and family fun along the Navigation Promenade in historic Second Ward. Log on to click2houston.com/community for details.
And we'll see you on the East End.
Early voting starts next week for some important elections in our region, including Houston mayor. Time to get the political experts together to talk about that race and more, including issues facing our nation. You can ask questions on Twitter at KPRC2, Cambrell, #HOU Newsmakers. Also email via Houston Newsmakers at click2houston.com. Thank you to Dr. Babin and